The biggest benefit I think that my program brings to insurance providers is an opportunity to mitigate the damage that has affected a person who's been involved in a car accident. The sooner that a person who has been injured can be treated effectively and can get as close to who they were before the accident, the better it is for everybody. For the patient, certainly, to have their lives back, and to be blunt, from an insurance point of view, because the long-term cost is drastically reduced. So everybody benefits. I think the key issue for the insurance provider is to identify appropriate treatment for a given case early. In my world, it's often the patients I see have had their problems for years, and they've been receiving conservative care for a long time. The problem with that is that by the time I see them and I'm able to offer treatment, the prognosis for outcome has already been negatively affected. The sooner I see them, the more likely it is that I'll be able to help them return to their lives the way they were before an accident. So one of my long-term goals is to be able to educate professionals in the insurance industry about what we do, about how to determine which patients would be best to go in this direction as opposed to the more conservative care direction, so that these people can be identified early and referrals can be made quickly. I've written editorials for the local newspaper for well over 10 years. And the vast majority of my editorials do directly address the issue of chronic pain. As I explain to people, chronic pain, a person with chronic pain is like a person who's on fire. It not only hurts you, but it can burn up everything in front of you. It can destroy your lives. And the thing that can help a person with pain, obviously, are the supports around them. One of the supports, if a person's been injured in a car accident, is obviously their insurance provider. For many of the people I see, that's not how they perceive the relationship. The relationship becomes adversarial very early on. For me, although it's been suggested that I have a negative bias towards automobile insurance, it's actually not that at all. I think that automobile insurance is a wonderful thing. I think the important thing is that automobile insurance needs to be dealt with the way automobile insurance was meant to be dealt with. I think patients need to be identified early who need specific types of care. I think the people involved in insurance need to understand what appropriate care is. They need to be better educated about that so that they can get help for their clients quickly, because it mitigates damage, helps the person, and ultimately reduces cost. If the person is not identified early and what you're left with is care as usual, years go by and then the prognosis for outcome becomes poor. And even if I do have an opportunity to see them then, although I can be helpful, I can improve quality of life, the likelihood of these people ever returning to work is extremely low because of the passage of time. I think the important thing for insurance companies is to have their staff as highly trained as possible in the identification of patients with chronic pain, for them to understand what the standard of care is that would be the most helpful, because it'll reduce delays in care. From what I see now, patients are often delayed in getting appropriate help by years. And if that happens, then the likelihood of these people ever returning to work becomes dramatically reduced. The sooner these people are identified, the more quickly they will get access to care, the more likely it is that they will be able to return to work. So I think that that's a critical skill that's important for insurance providers to have.